Cebu Pacific family, my name is Patty Laurel Filler. Thank you so much for joining me today. It's lovely to see all your faces today. Well, technically, I cannot see your faces because you're home and I'm home. But just for the sake of this video, let's just all pretend that we're hanging out in one happy room together. So, hello, hi. Nice pantulog. Hello again. So I just wanted to start this video with a big thank you and a big shout out to all the hardworking people in the airline industry. This has definitely been a very difficult time for the global community, but thanks to all your hard work and sacrifices, you have managed to bring people from one point to another safely. You've reunited family members and loved ones, and for that, maraming salamat. So today, I'll just be having a really quick and casual talk with you guys to share my personal experience as a parent during this ECQ period. Now, just to be completely honest, when they sent me an email and asked me to do this, I quickly said no, simply because I felt like I wasn't in the position to give advice because I have been struggling through this whole period. It has been ups and downs on the daily, emotionally, financially, spiritually, even physically. And so I really had to pray about it before creating this video. So just as a disclaimer, these are experiences that have, helped me cope along with my family. And I understand that it's different per family, per household. So I hope you'll just take it as sort of an encouragement to create your own formula that would work for your own unit. So the first tip that I could suggest for parents going through the ECQ period would be to start your day with the right intention. Now, I know that a lot of you will have that default of switching on social media to be informed, or checking your messages or your work emails, or fixing yourself a cup of coffee when you wake up in the morning. And that's completely normal, and I've done that as well. But for the past few weeks going into this lockdown, I realized that having just that morning talk with the Lord to start your day can really change the trajectory of your entire day.
And also that she will be protected by your angel.
Whether it's a conversation sharing your despair or feelings of anxiety, helplessness, or even to just be grateful and offer your thanksgiving to Him, whatever mood you are in, I think the Lord will be with you and meet you where you're at. I remember a good friend of mine, Nikki, shared this to me, and it was very helpful for me in coping and processing my feelings throughout the lockdown. She told me all you have to do is wake up in the morning, and the first thing you have to do is say, "This is the day that the Lord has made. I will rejoice and be glad in it." And I just realized that that is such a bold statement, especially when we're faced with so much uncertainty, so much pain, so much bad news, that it might be hard to actually declare it. But when you actually accept that today is a day that is a gift, your life is a blessing, and that the Lord is in control, I think it will really change your whole mindset for the day and give you the courage and the bravery as a parent to go through that day with your children. Tip number 2, don't worry about being the perfect parent. At this point, all they need is for you to be the parent that they need at this right moment. And I think this doesn't only apply for the lockdown period, it applies for parenthood in general, wherein you want to understand where your child is at emotionally, socially, physically, and sort of meet them where they're at, just so that they feel loved and secure, especially during difficult times. You know, our children are very empathetic, and as much as we want to shield them from information that may cause hurt or pain or anxiety, I think it's also good for us to have honest conversations with our children about the realities of the world. This way, we are teaching them to process and to cope with things positively. And so I remember even as newborns, my husband and I would just have the habit of having a conversation with our babies. And it was just practicing the habit of being honest with our children, telling them about the world, telling them about how we see the world. And now that our son is 4, he's very empathetic, he's a critical thinker, and he asks us very difficult questions sometimes. And we always approach his questions with honesty and truthfulness. And sometimes it could hurt to say these things, especially to a very innocent child. But we always end our conversation with hope. And we always point him to God at the end of each conversation, reminding him that we have a God who is good, a God who is in control, and a God who loves us so much. And so these conversations are really great, whether they're newborns, whether they're teenagers. It's just walking with them through these difficult times, even through the happy times, and always pointing them towards God at the end of it all. Tip number 3 is to be creative and resourceful with your finances. Now, this is the more practical tip that I wanted to share, since most of us have been very badly hit by this pandemic, causing a lot of financial struggles in most families. And I totally feel you. It has been, very painful for many families. And so I would like to encourage you that this is a very difficult time, but if we trust that the Lord will provide, He will be faithful to your family and to mine. And I think this is the time where we can all really encourage one another to be creative with our finances, to really sort of recalibrate our priorities, and to find free resources wherein we can still encourage play, we can still encourage a fun time with our children, just so that they can still have a full and active childhood despite all these limitations. So I'll just be sharing like 5 quick ways you can have fun with your kids without spending at all. And we do this all the time, and my kids absolutely love it. So first would be water play. I suggest having them play with water under the morning sun, just so that they get their dose of vitamin D and fresh air, and it also boosts their immune system. So what we do is we have a small inflatable pool. We fill it up about 1/4 only, just so that we're not wasting too much water. We put a lot of toys there just to keep them busy. So yeah, they absolutely love hanging out there all morning long under the healthy morning sun. And then after that, we'll use the same water to water the plants and to wash the car as well. So we get 3 activities in just one morning, and they absolutely enjoy that. Another activity that doesn't cost a lot is art activities that you can search online using materials that you already have at home. This is a great way to teach them recycling and being resourceful with materials that don't cost a lot, and you can sort of give them an excitement towards things that seem very mundane, because they'll see it in a whole new light. Another activity that's absolutely free but is great for their emotional and social well-being is to create Zoom meetups with their friends, with their cousins, with their classmates. I think even during this lockdown period wherein we're really being mindful about social distancing, we should still encourage the emotional connections between our children's friends and their playmates. So what we do is we really schedule Zoom meetups so that they can just chat with their friends and talk about anything and everything under the sun. The 4th free activity that I highly recommend is building a fort with your children. Bahay-bahayan is the ultimate bonding moment with you and your kids, and it works for kids of all ages. And it also sparks their imagination. So basically what we just do is just let them do it. You know, we just dump all the pillows, the blankets, the chairs, the tables, and we sort of assist them because we have very small children. But we let them really imagine how it's supposed to look, and they say, oh, this is our garage, this is our kitchen, and then they'll put a few snacks in there, and then they'll put a library with their books. So it's nice to have a conversation and, you know, sort of encourage them to imagine this whole fort that they're building. And it's just so sweet to actually see them cuddle and, you know, laugh and spend time under the sheets. And my favorite free activity would be to have a dance off with your children. You know, my kids, they absolutely love to dance. In fact, I think my Instagram stories are like 90% Astrid and Theo dancing because that's all they do all day. But I feel what makes it much more fun is when Patrick and I actually dance and go crazy with them. It's just about being free and fully present with your children, dancing and being goofy and being corny and kenkoy. And just as a parent, I think it's very therapeutic for me when I'm able to just completely detach from all the worries of the world and just dance with my children. So there, that wraps up our very quick chat. I hope it has been helpful for you guys, and I just wanted to say thank you for even listening to me. I think it helps knowing that there are other parents out there who are sort of journeying through this very uncertain time with you. And so let's use this time to really encourage and pray for one another. I know there are days that will be harder, and there will be days that will feel lighter. And within those days, let's always just look to the Lord as He continues to be faithful to us on the daily. Thank you for joining me. Goodbye, Cebu Pacific!